What's up everyone, it's Bones here. In today's video, I'll be doing a showcase on Labrynth, as I believe it's another deck that got a buff through the ban list with not only the banished cards like Dimensional Fissure and Macrocosmos paired with the Dimension Shifter as you can see here, but we also have 3 Metaverse, which I believe is a significant buff for this deck as it allows you to loop resources better while also being a way to get into more disruptions or just flat out stun your opponent. But anyways, before I begin, if you happen to enjoy content like this, clicking on those thumbs up and subscribe buttons would be greatly appreciated, as it goes a long way in supporting the channel and shows me that you like content like this. So to start here, we're going to pass priority to the opponent if you know your opponent is on a shifter deck, though regardless of when you do it, you're either playing into the Gamma on draw phase or Talons on main phase, which is important to point out. So we'll pass priority and allow them to shifter, and then we're just going to set 3 as it's really the only thing we can do. And because we happen to draw the Silver Castle here, we're going to have to set 3 and be passive, which is what you'll see when it comes to control decks like this. But in the end phase here, we can finally use that Metaverse, and then we'll activate the Silver Castle or the Lady of the Labyrinth on the opponent's side, and as it's an if effect, we can use our own as a trap card was activated during this chain link. And from here, we can get both the special summons, get the activation of the Labrynth via the Metaverse, and then from here we're going to use the Welcome Labrynth, chain the effect of the Lady Labrynth. We won't be able to get our own because that part is a when effect, but what we'll be able to do is we'll be able to get the special summon of Ariana and get a pop here, which I don't pop the newly set, which was an imperm in this case because it does target, and we still control a set card. So I just wanted to point out that in a situation like that it may just be better off to out an unknown rather than a card that really can't do anything to you, especially since compulsory can also kind of play around the imperm. But from here, we're going to get the effect of Ariana, and we'll get the search of a Welcome Labrynth, and this kind of puts us in the driver's seat as we're already turboing through our engine, but we can also beat over our opponent's Lady Labrynth as you're forced to special summon it in defense position. And you'll see that I'm actually not going to activate anything on the opponent's side. I don't think that you need to at this moment, as you can just wait for the end phase to do so. And I'm going to use the Welcome Labrynth, then chain the Lady Labrynth on our side, chain the shifter here because we don't want their Welcome Labrynth to go to the graveyard, then get our own imperm, and from here we can special summon the Ariana, and now we're going to add a copy of Lady Labrynth in order to special summon itself since a trap was activated this turn. So we'll move on to the next turn here, and I'm going to stop the video here because from this point on the game states can vary, and what I wanted to show in this video was where the buff comes through the 3 Metaverse, as I do feel the Dimensional Fissure and the Macrocosmos are somewhat obvious, especially in a format with a Shizu tier. So onto the deck profile here, and for the most part it's the same as the previous one I showed. I've replaced the 2 Mystic Mines with the Necro Values. I've taken out the Overroot and the other trap card, I forget the name of it, Archfiend's Glitch. There we go, in order to make room for Dimensional Fissure, as I want to banish as many of my opponent's monsters as possible, as even without a Shizu tier, I do feel like these strategies with the 3D Fissures, the 3 Shifters, the 3 Macrocosmos are something that you kind of need to be prepared for, as our game has always been so graveyard based. But anyways, onto the card by card, you'll see that we have 1 copy of Labrynth of the Silver Castle, 3 copies of Lady of the Labrynth. I play 3 because it's basically multi-faker for the deck, as the Silver Castle here is mainly the brick. And we have the 3 Arianas, the 3 Shifters, the 2 Labrynth, the 2 Necro Values, the 3 Extrav, the 3 Dimensional Fissures, the 1 Lord of the Heavenly Prison. If you see it, you see it. If you don't, you don't. You just don't want to clog on it. And the 1 Absolute Backjack. We're playing Shifter and D-Fissure, so I don't want to maximize on things that could conflict. And then onto the trap lineup, we have the 3 Welcome Labrynth, the 3 Compulsory Evacuation Device, the 3 Imperms, the 3 Dogmatic of Punishment, the 3 Labrynth Barrage, and the 3 Metaverse to round out the main deck. Onto the extra deck, we have 1 Zeus, the DDD package here with Mechanix, Pingtel, and the Caesar in order to make our Zeus. And then we have Baguska, Dweller, and Dingirsu. The 3 Entis for the punishment. We also have the Omega and the Wind Pegasus, which you can send as well. And then Dark, Unicorn, and Link Karibo to round out the deck profile. Onto the options. Invader of Darkness is really only here for if a ban list were really to come and somehow the Runic decks were to pop back up again. That's why this was here. You won't really want to use this in a Shizu tier format though. The End of Anubis, on the other hand, is something that you can definitely tech in. As you saw in that replay, you really don't use your normal summons much. There may be situations where you may want to compulse back your own Ariana, or even the Lady of the Labrynth. But besides that, Lava Golem feels typically pretty free in this deck, as you really are only playing one back deck as well. The Evenly is another literal hand trap that can bring out Lady Labrynth. The viruses are other options that you do have. The deck devastation, not so much in the Ishizu tier format. It's something that could come up in future formats. Same with the EEV, it's not necessarily as strong right now because of Ishizu tier, but something that you can use against other matchups, especially if you know what you're playing against in your own area. And if this happens to be a strong option, then why not? Then we do have the Solemn Judgment and the trio of Floodgates here to round out the rest of the options or side deck cards that you could play. But anyways, if you made it this far into the video, I thank you for watching and I hope you enjoyed. If you have any suggestions, feel free to leave them down below. It's Bones, signing out.